sort of under the compliance of the Indian law. And the second question is, when you're using the RAG system, so new memory gets integrated into the system. So we need to secure the memory. The trend has to be there.
Right.
So how does that work? The memory gets layered over the last memory, or I want to understand the data storage part.
Okay, coming to the first one, for the advent of DPDP laws and all the data residency laws, we do help organizations in complying to them, right? So the main data residency laws, the whole point is the data shouldn't leave the country's borders or the organization's borders, if you want to be even more specific, right? So that's when we can actually help organizations in adding our privacy vault layer so that the data doesn't flow out. And then even though we are tokenizing the sensitive data in the full document or something, right? Even there we tokenize in such a way that LLMs or agents can actually understand what we are actually tokenizing. So we do context preserving tokenization. And also we have an extension to that like CBAC, which is context based access control, so that only the people who need to have access to the original data or the free flow data will have access to it. That's the first part. For the second part, for RAG kind of solutions, we do, again, Protecto is a API based product. So before the data is actually stored in your vector DB, or before you actually create embeddings, you can actually call Protecto's APIs, get the mass output, then use that in storing in your vector DB. And then when you want to retrieve it back, you can't just use cosine similarity, because cosine similarity might not be that accurate in this purpose. So we do have our own IP logic on top of cosine similarity, so that the retrieval is good even on masked data. For example, you mask the data and then you store it, and then a prompt is coming, you mask the prompt and then do a similarity search along with cosine similarity and our own IP logic. Then you get back the response, and that you can combine with the prompt, and then you can send it to model which you are using.
So day one is over. So what's your thoughts for today, and what was an interesting conversation that you had, and how did you feel about the entire day?
So it was a great day, to be honest, and it's a very tiring one. We got to interact with a lot of AI leaders. It might be ranging from AI startup founders, people who are building AI startups, or maybe the engineers who are building it, and also big enterprises who are in the data team or the compliance team. We got to interact with a lot of people, get to know a lot of insights, pitch Protecto to them on how we can actually fast track their compliance process and how we can enable them for data.
So Shanmugh, you had a lot of conversations today. What was the most interesting conversation today?
So, there are a lot of interesting conversations we had today, but the one which stands out is the conversation which I had with the CISO of a big FinTech firm in India. It's a very popular one. So, they are actually looking at something exactly what we do. They are looking of a solution which will do compliance process for their data. It was great talking to them. We are looking forward to meeting in the next week again so that we can take the conversations forward.
So Shanmugh, in today's conversation, what is one misconception about AI security that you heard?
So a lot of people think that when you talk about AI security, it's about prompt injections, it's about how you can actually block the prompt or the output. But the real risk actually lies with the data. Okay, so they understood it when I was actually explaining them on how the real risk exists at the data level and how you need to protect your data or how you need to sanitize the data before you actually give it to AI. That's when they understood the difference between data privacy and AI security.
Hey Shanmugh, what is that one AI buzzword that you're tired of hearing today?
So, whenever they see data, AI agents, and we stop data leakage, people think that we are a cybersecurity firm. They ask us, what are the security controls which you have in place so that your data is not leaked? Okay, but then I'm tired of listening to that, because we are a data privacy and security company. We deal with the data, not with the security controls as such.
Hey, hi Shanmugh. So this is the last day of the event. So how do you feel? How was the overall vibe here today on the last day?
So as usual, very good crowd. There was a crowd ranging from students to even government institutions. And I remember talking to an income tax person who is handling technology in income tax. Okay, so they were interested on how we actually solve the problem which everyone is facing these days. I had some really good conversations, very good crowd. It was a blast for all the 5 days. It was a great time to meet a lot of like-minded people, students, startups and government folks who are all trying to solve a similar problem in AI. So yeah, great experience.
Okay, so after all this 5 days of rigorous thing, do you think India is ready to take on a product that is related to data privacy?
Definitely, actually. In fact, India is very much ready. We could see that with the crowd we could see in AI Impact Summit. I could see a lot of big names, small names, all of them together in the Impact Summit, displaying their products, trying to go to other booths and learning about the other products. And more importantly, I would say India is definitely ready because with the advent of DPDP coming into force, all the organizations who are in regulated industries are looking for products like Protecto. They want to comply to India's DPDP law, and I guess we are in a right space where a lot of Indian products are actually looking for tools like Protecto.